Our guest today is Jim Parkman. This was a huge case. I mean, this was the fourth largest accounting fraud in the history of the United States.
The CEO of HealthSouth, the Fortune 500 healthcare company.
Ferrari Enzo was nearly obliterated in the high-speed crash along the PCH.
Zenvo, ST150S.
He went from being on the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Only going to make 3 for the United States.
I'm Bobby Khan, former exotic car dealer turned #1 FBI's most wanted fugitive.
Generally, when you look at the law, 90% of the time it's against you.
The FBI put a $20,000 reward for information into his arrest.
Bobby Khan scammed super rich customers at a New Jersey car dealership.
Join myself and James Parkman, my attorney and best friend, as we have cars, courts, and conversations.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Parkman Khan Unleashed. That's Jim Parkman, and I'm Bobby Khan. And,
Wait.
What?
I know what we're going to talk about.
Go ahead.
And I am very, very, very disappointed in you that you would bring this subject up, because we know the government does not just throw away money and just does not make frivolous deals. We know that. I mean, the government has always.
And the government's our friend. And
they've always used money correctly. I mean, they don't loot. They don't miss money.
People in this world.
I mean, come on. They don't miss money. I mean, come on, man. This is the government.
I mean, listen, I didn't fall off the turnip truck today, okay? Today's episode, if you haven't watched the news today, the Pentagon cannot account for $828 billion. That's billion with a B. And this is their 7th audit that they have failed. Take that in for a second. The federal government takes in about $3 to $4 trillion a year in tax revenue. The Pentagon cannot account for $828 billion.
I know where it went.
You know what? Go ahead. I want to hear this one.
They went down to Lamps R Us in Washington and bought a lamp for $828 billion so it could go on a desk. That's it. That's it.
Well, you know, when you say that, it's funny because I just read an article about a week ago where Lockheed Martin overcharged them 7,938% more for bathroom soap dispensers and a few other things.
Yes.
Like, hold on. Let me ask you a question. What happens when an invoice comes across their desk? Do they even look at it, or do they just sign off on everything?
Stamp.
Okay, but now here's what I have to. For somebody that's been to prison and had to deal with the federal government, if you and I are running a business, and you out there, if you're running a company and you misappropriate $800,000, you better believe federal prosecutors are knocking on that door and hauling you off to prison. Am I right, Jimmy?
$8,000.
$8,000, right?
But not $8 billion.
$800 billion.
Where in the world? Think about this a minute. Where could that go? Where could you lose $800 billion?
So it's not that it's lost. It's that what happens is, oh, well, this is an accounting error. So we're going to take, $30 billion that's destined for this. We're just going to move it to this section and this section and then this section. And then you're misappropriating funds. That's taxpayer money. You went to Congress to ask for a budget. The budget is itemized what it's going to be used for. But obviously the funds are not being used for what the government actually gave you the money for.
So they're just moving money around to their pleasure of what they want to instead of what it was destined for.
Well, because nobody
designated for.
Well, exactly, because they know, and this is where I have a problem. Government officials are never held accountable. Let it be senators, congressmen, let it be FBI agents, let it be people in the CIA. No one has held accountable, so they think it's okay. Do you know what the guy's statement was? The guy, McCord, you know what he said? This is going to blow your mind. He said, in his exact words, he said, if a kid in school, fails half his classes, and is passing half his classes, is he really a failure? Wow. No, you can't come up with where the $828 billion went to. You misappropriated funds. Somebody should be hauled out of there. And
Wait a minute. Let's put this in my terms, okay? So if you get $800 billion and you appropriate it correctly, okay, but you can't account for 800 billion more, then is it really a problem?
So, Jimmy, so next time you have a client that's charged with fraud for misappropriation of funds, and a federal judge is about to sentence them, say, Your Honor,
wait a minute,
you send my client to prison. Why are the people at the Pentagon not in prison for misappropriating $800 billion?
Absolutely.
Right? Like, when you say justice is blind, then guess what? It should be even across the board.
Well, yeah.
You commit a crime, you're going to prison.
You know, well, the first thing that I think is interesting about it, don't come tell me I don't know where it is or where it went.
7 times.
Somebody's got to come up and there's got to be a trail.
Money doesn't vanish, okay?
The FBI always says, follow the money.
Exactly, right?
Follow the money. So when they get the money in their account, follow the money. See where it all goes.
It's very simple. It's not like Congress gave them $800 billion in cash. They wire transfer the funds, and then from there it goes here. Follow the money. Where did this money go? What was it destined for? What was it earmarked for?
What did we buy?
Yeah, what did you buy? What did you get for it? And then let's talk, okay? And it's not that hard. You can't sit there and say, QuickBooks failed. You're not using QuickBooks. You're the federal government. I mean, so, this leads back to Trump and his new, when he's going to put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy into that whole thing called DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah.
They need to go in there. And now that Trump has Congress, he needs to make sure he passes a law. If you're a government employee and you mismanage government funds or you make a mistake, you are held responsible. We need to move away from the part where government employees are no longer, they're not responsible. They make a mistake, oh well, big deal, it's not our money, they laugh it off and move on. That money belongs to the taxpayers. They put you in office, you're getting paid off of taxpayer money. You got to realize that. If you're blowing this money, $800 billion could go a long way to help this country out. He needs to do this. In this new government, he needs to go in and clean house. This guy in the Pentagon, these people in the Pentagon, I should say, should all be held responsible. You're fired. And now you're up for criminal prosecution.
Well, first of all, I think it's interesting, before you jump into criminal prosecution, I think it's interesting that you find out where the money went.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. This isn't rocket science that's here trying to figure this out. It's money that you were given for a reason. Yep. Did it go, where did it go? Did it just vanish in thin air? Did it go? I mean.
You have somebody, exactly, it's not a small number.
How can you even spend $800 billion without somebody knowing it?
Absolutely, right? I mean, when there has to be something you bought. Did you buy weapons? Did you buy, did you fund a war? I mean, $800 billion can fund an entire war for the country of Ukraine.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a matter of, I think Congress needs to step in. I think they need to start saying, look, we want to know where it went. I don't want, and by the way, what does a kid making F's and B's or A's have to do with missing $800 billion in the federal government? What is that? What the kind of answer is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
But I mean, could you imagine if one of your defendants gave that answer to a judge? Your Honor, yeah, exactly. What the judge would sit there and give him an extra 2 years.
Yeah.
Just for that stupid answer.
Yeah. I don't know where it went.
Yeah. Well, okay. You want to hear something else crazy I just read right before we got on the interview? Marjorie Taylor Greene just made a comment, and she said to all her senators and Congress people, and she said, listen, if you guys want to put out people's dirty laundry, because this whole Matt Gaetz thing, because they don't want Matt Gaetz to become Attorney General.
Oh, yeah.
She said, do you know that the Senate paid out $17 million to shut people up for sexual harassment claims for senators and Congress people that, obviously sexually harass somebody? She goes, if that's the case, why don't we put everybody's name out there? It's both Democrats and Republicans. Wow, we're paying. So where's that money coming from? The $17 million used to pay off people.
Well, you know what? Some of that may come out. I just read yesterday that in the news that P. Diddy's lawyer has said, hang on, folks. We're fixing to release all the names of people involved.
And you hear the other thing? Just now, about an hour ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene said, she goes, why don't we release the Epstein list and all the people you guys shut up? She goes, I'm ready to start slinging. She goes, if you guys want to start slinging mud, I'm ready to sling mud too. It's about to get very interesting.
Oh, it's good. And you know what?
It's about time.
If that's coming out of public funds, it needs to be revealed.
Anything
we don't need to hide. That's not. If it's coming out of a private guy's pocket, okay, that's private.
That's different. But here's the other problem. They're also public elected officials.
Yeah.
So anything that has to do with them, it should be public knowledge.
Well, yeah, I guess. I can think of some instances where, you're on your private time, okay? I'm not going to just open the door to everything that you do or everything you say can come out. That I don't buy that.
If it's done on government property and on government time and on a government dime, that should be public.
That's government business.
That's different.
If you're paying for a party, if you're paying for it through government funds and paying for a party through government funds, it should, there should be some responsibility for that. Okay? Right. And if not, if it's paid for by private funds that you've got in the bank or your whatever, hey, do with it what you want.
I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this one because it's pretty interesting because this affects everyday people. You and I, we make one mistake and it's so easy. Look, it took one little thing for me to end up in federal prison.
Yeah.
The average American commits 3 felonies a day and they don't even realize it. But then you see something like this and you have to sit back and say, when the judge is sitting there sentencing you and he's trying to belittle you and you're like, hold on, your fellow judges and your fellow congressmen and all these other fellow government workers, they're getting away with everything. And you're sending me and you're trying to make me look like the bad guy because I'm like the worst thing since, Hitler. And come on.
Yeah. If there was a mistake made in my case and there's money owed, why didn't the government send me a check? I'll pay them off.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, have a nice day. Goodbye. It's over.
Yep.
But
anyways, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this stuff, guys. So,
been great, Bobby.
Thank you, Jimmy. All right. I know you got to get going too, so have a wonderful day.
Thank
guys,
you too.
Reach in. We got 3 episodes going up right now, so make sure you go watch, like, share, and subscribe. Okay.
Thank you.